to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulation.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Biggie. Hello, Jay.
Michael.
How are you, my friend?
Very well. You?
Doing good, doing good. I've started quite a few fights online over the last, 6 hours, 24 hours, something
Why'd you
like
do
that.
that,
Over
Mike?
real controversial stuff, right? Like you were posting, right? You were posting
Rape jokes,
right?
and AIDS jokes,
Yeah.
9/11 jokes.
Right.
Yeah.
Describe the controversy.
Well, I posted more pictures, images, if you will, of concert ticket stubs that I've gone to.
That's
man.
wow. That's a triggering subject.
It is, dude. It sounds like it.
No,
Last
it's
couple weeks you've been doing
hilarious.
this.
What is triggering is people are assholes and social net media. Like that's what the trigger
It is hilarious. People, one comment today was like, I always thought this was just fine to put here and look at now, but now after seeing this one, fuck you. They're mad that I went to some concert, and people cannot. They are so hung up on the fact that they're either comp tickets or the price is zero or XXX, and it's like, what do you? It's not about how much you paid for the fucking ticket. That's not what it's about. Trust me, there are tickets coming.
Just
from
a memory lane thing,
earlier
man.
years. It's all it is a memory lane. Go, wow, because I posted one from Ozfest, Ozfest 2001. I'm like, wow, that was fucking however many years ago, 17 years ago that Ozfest was. And you're looking at it, and so I then do a Bing search because I don't even remember. It's like I think Linkin Park was at that one, maybe Marilyn Manson, and it's like, yeah, Marilyn Manson, Taproot, Linkin Park, Disturbed, Black Label Society. And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And you see who's on the second stage, and it's like these up-and-coming bands that you know now. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see that. And it's
Sometimes
like,
that's a bummer to me, and sometimes it's awesome. Like when I look back at something and you think like, holy shit, dude, this band was at this, and I just didn't even watch them, or was just like, second stage, whatever.
get there late when Ozzy takes the stage.
And then it's like,
Who needs to see this shitty band I've never heard of named Linkin Park?
Right.
Who needs to see them on their first real tour? Ugh, lame. Who needs to see Disturbed? Boring. It's like,
Maybe
yeah.
you posting these things, Mike, it's more of an objection to constantly be looking back, man. I mean, when Tiesto just dropped a set like he did at Tomorrowland, then that's Tiesto with an umlaut. I want you to know.
I respect the umlaut.
When he
I'll give
just
him
did
that.
what he did the other day, I mean,
Oh my
can't we
God,
just
I
look to
can't-
the future, man?
I can't.
Solomon?
I can't do this.
Ellen
I cannot
Walker?
have two of you in the room. I can't. It
know
has
what's
been
funny?
so much fun, Jay, for the two of
Armin
us to,
Van Buren?
to beat his ass over the last few years. I cannot have the two of you now as.
I mean,
super
why are we
EDM
constantly
guys.
looking back at Prince and the Beatles and Ozfest?
last night I made my parents are still gone, so I'm having to make my dinners, and I just put on my phone and I put on a speaker and I cranked Martin Garrix from Tomorrowland.
Hell yeah.
And I was chopping fucking green peppers. I was like hand up and I'm chopping green peppers.
Is that going to be you, Jay? Are you going to be wearing
that
shitty,
was me.
shitty earbuds as you're chopping carrots
I
in
was
your living
30
room?
miles away doing the same thing.
Stopping everyone in the family. Hold on, the beat's about to drop. Boom. Oh, dude, I want you to go to one of those events. I really do. But yeah, I got
No,
so
you were
frustrated.
ragging on me, dude, last night about the
Yeah.
Beatles. Like, out of nowhere, you come at me in a text like, you're fucked.
Fuck you, dude.
It
Fuck
was like,
you, you're wrong.
fuck you, dude, space, space, space. I'm like, huh, what did I do? And he goes, fuck that. Fuck Revolver. Rubber Soul is the greatest Beatles album ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, man, just, when fucking Armin Van Buren does what he does
Christ.
and is
I might
leading
be-
us into the
I was-
future, why are we analyzing these old guys who were done even before we were born?
I don't
If
know.
I've seen further, it's by standing on ye shoulders of giants, Jay. That's
Yeah.
why. I mean, think back, dude. No, I was actually getting frustrated when you were texting me back because I'm like, I don't even know who he's talking about, but I know it's some EDM shitbag, and I don't care. Comparing the beat. No, I started. I was like yesterday. I was like,
Why was I attacked like that? I didn't
well,
even.
because yesterday after the show, off the air, I said, by the way, Rubber Soul is hands down the greatest Beatles album ever. And as I'm walking, I just hear Jay go, Revolver's better. I was like, fuck you, it is not better. And I just let it go. And then I went upstairs later, and I was just like, I'm sitting at my computer, I'm reading email, and I'm like, you know what, for background, I'm going to throw Rubber Soul on. And I listened to the whole fucking thing, and I was like, almost
Wow,
wept.
always looking to the past, right?
Almost wept. I
Always
was like,
looking to the
well,
past.
this is sheer brilliance. Listen to the fuzz effect that Paul is using. It's
my
brilliant.
God.
And then I was like, all right, you know
You're
what?
dating yourself, sir.
No, dude, I wasn't born when any of this shit came out. Whatever. I mean, someone listens to Mozart. Are they dating themselves?
Yeah.
Dude, I told him I listened.
People can get into music. They get into music, and I respect my elders.
I told him I listened to.
Sound like an old man, Mike.
I listened to Rubber Soul on the way in today on Spotify, and I
And?
got to be honest, I liked it a lot.
I didn't say it was bad.
I know, but I'm
You're,
so I
you're
don't
like the
think there's
biggest
any-
Beatles fan I knew
I just-
growing up.
although I should listen to the other one and then give my judgment on which album is better, I suppose.
Yeah, I respect the Beatles, man, but it's time to look forward, Mike. It's
Dude,
time
it's
to
not
move,
like
move on. Tiesto. When Tiesto
Oh
did
my
what he
God,
did the
Fucking
other day,
Tiesto.
it changed me, man.
Well, I for
That is how you say it, righty?
Yes, you're right. You're good.
shifted. Never
Although he's already sold out for the most Tiesto fans. Most Tiesto fans think that new Tiesto sucks compared to old Tiesto.
I agree
so.
with that. Jay's just getting the old Tiesto. He should be looking forward to new Tiesto.
I
No,
am
no,
on
no.
new
People say
Tiesto.
new Tiesto sucks.
Well,
That's just people
wanted
are
to be fair.
assholes.
I wanted to be fair, so I threw Revolver on it. I'm like, oh, this isn't even fucking close. It's not even close. The over sitar. Most people think, by the way, it should be part 2 of a double album to Rubber Soul because they came out back to back. But it sure stirs up the debate. As soon as you drop a comment like that anywhere, and it's
Released in '66. My God,
like 65. For,
even you weren't born then, Mike. I was just a glimmer in my mother's eye at that
they were
point.
trying. I mean, your dad was putting a healthy pounding
Yeah.
on your mom. It just wasn't working. But soon enough. No, and it has nothing to do with that. It's just funny to me that the amount of people who can't either. You weren't at the show, and so you don't care. It's like I didn't go to the Prince show or the Oz Fest in that year, so whatever. Next, or if you did, you go, dude, I remember that show. Remember they got into a fucking fight, and so
Or
there's
how
a
about
chick,
this?
there's
Just
a-
scroll by. How about this? If you don't like it, just
No,
scroll
but
the fuck by.
It's funny. There's a chick, and it's been deleted now, so I can't read it to you. I wish I could. I should have printed it out. But some chick's like, oh, I can't remember what one it was. It was like 97, 98, whatever. And there was a band canceled, and people got upset. And when Ozzy took the stage, they were throwing chunks of mud. And then there was a couch burning. I'm like, wow, it sounds like East Lansing. It sounds like a great fucking party to be at, They almost stopped the show, and I swore never to go back to another Ozfest again, something like that. And someone's like, you bitch. That was in 1999.
You bitch.
Something like-
Comes
something
out with
like-
you bitch.
He didn't say you bitch, but it was like, hey,
That was
moron.
the tenor of it.
The tenor was, I'm going to come in hot as hell. And it's like,
Tell
that
her
was
how wrong. She's gonna tell the public how wrong
unnecessary.
that chick is.
It was unnecessary. She
On her
mixed up a date.
Mixed up a date.
97,
Get
98.
her!
She even said, like, I can't remember, 97, 98. He was
she
like,
qualified.
moron. 99, moron. It's like, oh, shit. And so,
idiot.
instead of her just leaving that there and just going, ugh.
That's
she's
how we
gonna go.
interact now.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
Well, how about you suck a dick, you cunt?
Come on.
Yeah.
Is that a quote?
Something along those lines. Cunt and dick were definitely mentioned.
you
And
kidding
sucking
me?
one, yeah. That was her response to him being a dick face. And then he came back and was, and then next thing you know, you can tell they're trolling each other's Facebook accounts
my
and
gosh.
looking for shit to find. Like, so when was your husband's transition? How long does he work on that beard? And I'm just like, oh my god, this is hilarious. This is what happens. Simple posts like, hey, just thinking back of this date.
You've
20
said
years
this a
ago.
million times, but here's what
It's
happens.
hilarious.
When you're doing it, here's what happens. When you're doing it, you always have this thought that okay, I've got this. I've got them. This is good.
This is an
That's a
unwinnable fight for
right.
them at this
This
point.
is the A-bomb. It's over. And then they just come back with something else. It never is over unless you just decide to stop texting.
The one that gets me is when they change subjects. When they
Oh,
go
yeah.
another route
Yeah, that
where
is
they've
a-
lost the initial fight face to face, and now we're gonna go.
well,
Yeah, well, what about they're gonna take one step to the right and punch you with that, and you're like, dude, that's not even what we're talking about. Those are the ones that really bother me. But I posted a picture yesterday on all of them really, but there was a dragonfly poops sitting on out front. I walked out front, and I'm sitting there, and this dragonfly poops comes and he lands. He just soft feet
They're
and
sweet,
lands.
huh?
Yeah, he's kick ass, right? And I'm like, hey, buddy, and I get right up next to him, and I touch his butt. He goes, ooh, he flies up,
Yeah.
and then he lands again. And I'm like, stay put, friend.
It's your spirit animal.
Yeah, I go grab my camera, and I'm like, I don't know, an inch from him, and I take a picture, and you can see all the detail of his
Yeah, the
fucking
wings are
dude.
amazing, right?
It's unbelievable. And so I posted, I'm like, look at this boy, look at this guy that came and hanged out with me for like an hour today. and then people are just immediately like, remember when he used to be outrageous and tough, and now look at this pussy now.
Taking
Dealing
pictures of dragonflies.
dragonflies and nature, and here I used to.
Were
be
you once outrageous and
on the
tough?
cutting edge?
Were you?
Cutting edge with my tongue, Jays. I would think what they meant. Remember, he would talk about banging chicks or racist stuff, and now he's posting pussy shit like this. And you're like, I can't. You guys can't win.
I love it.
You know what?
I always love it.
It makes Jay mad. I just laugh though. I find it hilarious just watching the.
It doesn't make me mad. It's
human
it's ridiculous.
interaction.
It's just absurd. It's an absurd waste of time. Like,
Yeah.
why feed the trolls? Just stay off it.
So, but I like posting it. I like seeing because the cool thing is I'll see from
You
people.
need that dopamine rush, don't you?
It's not about that. You know what it is? It's like when I posted those videos of Zach on Zach's birthday, right? I posted just like, hey man, miss you, buddy. Wish you were still here. Give anything for one more beer and a jam session, something.
And did people call
And-
you a pussy?
Probably, but I don't care about them. The ones I do care about, though, are the people that I haven't talked to in 15, 20 years that knew Zach, went to school with him, and all of a sudden I'm seeing names and comments, and I'll even get together with some of them, guys that I haven't seen in a long, long time, and it's like,
Really?
fuck,
You
yeah.
have changed.
Huh?
You have changed.
Yeah. I got invited to McCool, had a barbecue, and it was like seeing Miller and Johnny Cass, Johnson, and all those guys. I hadn't seen a lot of those guys in a lot of years, and it's like that was only because they commented on this post that I posted. So there is some good that comes out of it, and I still stay in contact with them. Went boating the next week.
Dude, I get
with
half
Troy and
the
them.
fucking things I get to do
Yeah.
because I post on Facebook. I swear to God, I just post. I post things. Hey, I'm going on a drive for the day. Who wants to come? And I actually ended up getting more people. I was already on the trip, and I got like 5 people once I was on the trip. Like, dude, did you leave yet? So I don't know. It's negative if you choose it to be negative. It's positive if you choose it to be positive.
Yeah. And I I'll be
It's a
honest.
good outlook, E.
I-
It's kind of a Tomorrowland kind
Exactly.
of view on
See,
things.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Music will bring the world together.
It's kind of like what Francois would say at the end of his set.
Oh my.
Or Nick Brill.
I kind of love it. I kind of
No,
hate
but
it, and I
don't
kind of
you
love
think
it.
The
that's kinda cool.
Flapjackers, that's kind of the vibe they give off, too.
I think it's kind of cool that Zach's sister Bethany will see that and then comment or be because these are personal videos taken in my basement. These aren't like on YouTube, and so it's like you share that and people are like,
Are you
"Holy
looking
fuck,
for the
man."
psychic currency
I
that
don't-
comes from Zach's sister
No,
responding to that?
I'm not. But I'll be honest with you. It's like, oh, cool. I'm glad Bethany saw that, and I'm glad that affected her in a small way.
I get your
I
point.
wasn't looking for that. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't tag her in it. But the fact is, it made it to her. And so that's cool. I find that aspect of it cool. And I'm sure, then some monsters are going to jump in there and be like, what's that fucking fag poster in the background? And you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, God.
Mike, you just gotta respond with positive vibes only. That's what you say.
It's just hilarious.
That's what you say.
That's righty. That's
yeah.
absolutely
Happy
right.
forest.
Happy
Yeah.
forest.
I hope people understand that our monsters have been well trained and it's not their fault because, there'll be pictures and it's like you're with a group of people and one of them's a lesbian, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, who's the hot fucking bitch in the middle? And then she sees this and goes, what the fuck, man? And then, the shit that gets started, but whatever. It's funny. But you started to make me feel bad, Jay, and I don't like it, but I came down and you were listening to some podcast or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I was asking you some questions about what it is, blah blah blah. And
I was like, I don't know.
I don't know what I'm listening
Some
to.
guys
Whatever.
talking about something.
But you were saying, yeah, there was an episode they did on CTE, and like, as society, they're trying to like guilt us into not liking football. Like, dude, you're kind of a dick if you watch football still, right? And I'm like,
No, it was just the argument that like you're morally corrupt if you support football.
morally bankrupt if I
'Cause,
support football.
Yeah, I mean the evidence is kind of in, right? We
Yeah.
covered that
Oh, yeah.
CTE study where they did like what was it, 110 former NFLers were studied, and 109 of them had CTE.
Sure,
It's like, you need more evidence than that.
no,
And then they did college players, and it reduced a little bit more. And then you did like high school, and it reduced a bit more, but it still there. In a big
Oh, I'm
way.
not saying the evidence isn't clear.
Yeah.
It is, but the question
So how
then
do you
is,
continue to watch it, Mike? How do you continue to support it?
and that's the question you asked. And for 10 minutes before we started this show, I was like, I don't have a good comeback for that because really you're just
Well, they
killing
were,
guys. And,
yeah, it's just totally selfish, and I'm not like calling you that in a bad way. It's just that
Yeah.
you enjoy football, and but if you really thought about it and cared about the people playing it,
yeah,
it's just hard to care about everyone. I know that.
it sure is. And I thought I had you. I was like, oh,
you're
yeah,
going
well,
about your
well,
day, and you want to enjoy things, and it's like, God damn it, do I
Yeah.
have to always be moral.
But is there something that says, hey, man, it's not like this is a hidden study that the players don't know, but we all know, and it's like, haha, we're laughing at them. It's like everybody knows.
Yeah, and the guy, Malcolm Gladwell, is who I was listening to, the guy
Okay.
to like Tipping Point and stuff. He's a well-known author. But he started it out, and he was talking about like the studies that came in on minors, like East Coast miners, not East Coast, but
Like mining miners,
miners,
or like
coal
young-
miners,
okay,
coal miners. Yeah, West Virginian coal miners, and studies that came in the early part of the 1900s.
About black lung and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
And it was like, it showed that there was a correlation, but yet it took like 60 more years or something like that before real action was taken
Yeah.
to stop it. And it's like, are we going to do that with football? I mean, it's there, it's obvious.
Yeah, I know. It was just not that long ago where it was like the NFL highlighted every year. I mean, their biggest videos, and Sports Illustrated get this DVD of NFL follies or biggest.
Oh, I
hit.
always wanted the football phone.
Yeah,
I didn't
football
care about
was
the video.
shit. Yeah, it was. But the videos were cool too, and NFL Films would produce these things in slow motion, seeing a guy get almost decapitated, and you look at his neck snap. Oh, here's a guy falling on his head, and you're just laughing and pointing and like, dude, what a sick hit.
Yeah.
But
So
I don't know. But I thought I had you when I said, okay, well, what if that same study comes out and they find out that these 70-yard fucking bombs from a goalie that a guy just runs up and heads, like that can't be good for your head. Now what, soccer fan? You gonna bail on your sport?
yes.
I was like, oh man, I thought he was gonna say, well, that's different. No, I like that sport.
No, and I know a lot of concussions are had in soccer, but until CTE is shown as a real issue in soccer, I'll
Yeah.
defer that judgment. But yeah, I would seriously think about like, all right, what are we doing? I definitely take my kids out of it if
Yeah.
it was a,
But
if there was
didn't
the
one of your kids
percentage
play
of injury.
football for a
Dude,
season?
he
Or?
played like 8th grade. Yeah,
I know,
for a
but what
season.
if he wanted to keep playing? I mean, what do you do
No.
then? You wouldn't let him,
No.
really? Yeah. And I was actually surprised when you were like, yeah, someone, I don't know which one it was, Russell or Manny was going to play football, and I was like, holy shit, okay, cool. But I was actually kind of surprised at that you were even going to let him, knowing what we know already. And so now it's like, boy, am I really an asshole for supporting this sport, watching this sport? Really? Maybe you are, but I'm not going to stop. And
Again, there's moral judgments you have to make all day long. We can't be perfect.
and I'm morally
right?
bankrupt in most respects.
You are. So
what's
to
one
pull
more
the,
thing?
To pull the rug out on this one, I know it's
Yeah.
tough for you, but just food for thought. Like, what are we doing? Honestly, it's
But if the Lions got really good this year, like say they had a breakout year, and now they've won a playoff game, a home game, and now they're round.
Oh,
two
where I'll
of
be
place-
with my
I mean,
face
Jay, are
painted,
you
by
not
the
going to
way.
watch it out of like, well, this is a dangerous sport, and they're hurting their heads. I can't support this. I think that's a lie. I think we would all be like, get Lions fever and be into it. And
I don't know. I'm a bad example when it comes to NFL because
Yeah.
you guys are the better kind of person to ask. Like, what would you do?
Yeah.
In 5 years, if it continues along this line, would you start to peel back on it?
Yeah,
not spend
no.
your money on it, not buy the NFL package.
that's just
To be
asking
fair, I
too
don't really
much.
spend any money on NFL at all for the last blank years. I really don't. I haven't bought a jersey, but I'll keep watching. And if they
Yeah.
have a home playoff game, I will be there with my face painted. I will tell you that.
Like,
As I said.
I think it'll be interesting to see like the first big D1 college that goes, you know what? Despite the money we make on this, we're going to pull back for the betterment of our student body,
Yeah.
and we're just going to stop with the football.
It'll probably be like a Duke or a Harvard
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It
Yep.
won't be like one of the,
Alabama.
powerhouse. Yeah, Alabama's not
Yeah.
going anywhere, neither is Michigan, but maybe it will be like a, one of those Duke, Harvard.
Score a lot of points by doing it,
Yeah.
They'd lose money off the bat because it is not a huge revenue thing at like a Duke or a Harvard, but
And it's sad that I can't automatically think like, are you doing this for the great publicity that you'll get, or is this really about students' health and blah, blah, blah?
yeah.
Like, I'd question it automatically.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, you're right. Morally, we're a bankrupt people. You can see it every day and just how nasty we are to each other. It's why I like poop so much, because they don't ask for anything. Like,
soulless.
yeah, whatever. But it's
Your
human-
investment of them gets you nowhere.
No, that's
no,
not true.
that is not
That's
true.
not true,
That is
sir.
fucking
No,
ridiculous.
My dragonfly pal was a good friend
All
yesterday.
right, you state your case.
Dude,
Invest in a Proops.
Tony? Are you kidding me? Like,
He was telling me yesterday he'll sit and just watch Tony
Yeah?
sleep. Yeah.
Yes.
Tony means so much. He loves
I don't
Tony.
even know how to. I don't have to put into any words what I get out of Tony. That's incredible.
I do think God put pets on earth for us to have that sort of relation, like he's describing, you know, the feeble-minded or the infirm. You know, my grandpa, he was living alone for years, and he had this dog that he loved like a child. You know?
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's why they're there, honestly.
Yeah, I just love, you know, I don't know. I just love their loyalty and stuff. Like, there's something so, you know, not that kids don't give you that, but I don't know. There's something about dogs, especially.
Well, I know I don't
Dogs are
want to have a
just-
kid, so Tony or another cat when he's done is the closest I'll get. So
Yeah, and that's a good thing. You don't want either of us having kids,
You
right?
don't want Isis reproducing.
Or me. You don't want me having kids either.
yeah,
so-
you've been fine.
Nah, I don't think so, dude. Not that I would have hurt it, but I probably would have raised it, you know, in a way that would have been very morally questionable, you know?
Be watching football and stuff like that.
Hell yeah. You know, so anyway, I don't know. I love the Peroops. But, you know, back in the news today, James Gunn.
Yeah,
And-
Guardians of the Galaxy guy.
Yeah, and we talked about this. You knew this story better than I did, actually. Him, you know, another one of these guys that's taken down because of social media. You know, we're all narking each other out for our dumb tweets and things like that. And it was 6 years ago. I was reading an article by Piers Morgan. And, you know, I read a couple stories about this, and Piers had a nice breakdown, kind of all of it. And so I was reading his, and, you know, it was 6 years ago that Disney hired James Gunn to direct the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Excuse me. Soon after the news was announced, an old blog surfaced that he'd written 2 years before called "The 50 Superheroes You'd Like to Have Sex With." And, you know, one of the things, and I tried to find this list because they're like, oh, it's so misogynistic and homophobic and
Were they all chicks? Oh my God.
no, but anytime a guy was mentioned, it was like in a gay way. You know, I guess that's from what I gather. And so one of the things written on there was Batwoman came in at number 32. Is she a lesbian?
Batwoman.
Like, because it says, you know, and he wrote this, so I couldn't tell if this was tongue in cheek, if this is a joke, or if this was like a known thing in the superhero universe that Batwoman is known as a lesbian character. I didn't know that, if so. This lesbian character was voted for almost exclusively by men. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm hoping for a Marvel DC crossover that Tony Stark can turn her. She could also have sex with Nightwing and probably still be technically considered a lesbian. So Nightwing, I wasn't terribly familiar with that character, but I guess it's drawn by a female artist, and so most people consider it kind of a pussy guy.
Okay.
And so that's the reference there. She could bang Nightwing and still probably be technically considered a lesbian, which is kind of funny. But that's all I could find, dude. They have scrubbed the internet of this list. This list is fucking gone. You know, maybe there's people out there who could scour deeper than I did. Not like I spent a ton of time on it.
I wonder if Wonder Twin Jaina was on there. I
don't
would
know.
hope so.
Probably.
In her purple jumpsuit.
I mean, if there was one superhero, honestly, if we're going to do the same thing that James did, if there was one superhero that you would have tops of your list that you'd have sex with,
I mean, the only
anyone come to
chicks that like Wonder Woman. I mean, and by the way, we were sent a topless photo of Smurfette.
yeah,
and
not bad.
Dude, I'm gonna revise. I don't know that I really gave an answer as to whether I would bang her.
You would.
But if I were not married, I would bang Smurfette. Yeah, I would. Look
Those
at
are
that.
great tits, dude. She appears to be shaved. Yeah, I know.
I'm with you,
I know.
dude.
I know. I would.
Isis?
I mean, well, for one, I remember my friends and I used to have a joke list. I can't remember the top 10, but we had a top 10 of like cartoon females that we would thought were the
Smurfette number
hottest. I don't think she was on there. I think like Lois was on there, Kim Possible from those
Lois from Family Guy.
Lois.
Very bangable.
and
Peter's
Marge.
wife.
Oh,
Marge was in Playboy once.
Yeah,
like, we have to
Marge
see
was.
Marge's tits technically one time.
Yeah, that's true. Marge was in Playboy.
How are they?
I mean, you know, it's just some guy that drew a fucking version of Marge. in
No,
Play-
no, they weren't real.
no, no, they weren't.
Wow.
I went and got it the day it
So you
came
drew
out.
really droopy, shitty tits.
I
I'm
think it was the
sure.
only Playboy I ever bought from the like actual thing.
I'm trying to think. So you've got
Yeah, I mean, Wonder
Woman.
the Wonder Twin chick. You've
Is-
got like
Poison Ivy.
you've got a bunch of those X-Men, right? There's a bunch of chicks like Storm or some shit, or
Yeah.
like Jennifer, what's her name, plays that blue chick that X-Men.
Zoe plays one of them. Zoe Zaldana
I
or
guess
something.
Maybe we should have binged these, but
Oh, there she is. She's got a see-through
dude, you can see
negligee
through.
on.
It's not bad.
Not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. Imagine the artist commissioned to draw that.
I know.
What a creep.
I know. She.
I'm trying to think. There's another one. Is it
Look at the
Catwoman?
side boob on Marge. Holy
Hell yeah,
shit.
not bad. They're
So
holding
remember
up,
buying
too.
this. I remember buying it. I
you still
I went-
have it?
No. You know what? I somehow lost it. But I went the day. I remember knowing when it was going to come out, and I remember going to the liquor store. I made a big deal of, I'm going to be there right when it opens, and I'm going to get my Simpsons Playboy.
Isn't it funny when you look at this? It's like, ooh, Farrah Fawcett. There's an expose on Farrah Fawcett in this episode, in this issue. Also, Benicio del Toro and
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan.
I've got a list of several female superheroes, and the one I was thinking of was Mystique, I think, from X-Men.
Oh yeah,
Blue
yeah.
chick. But Scarlet Witch,
Which one's that?
well, I mean, Isis, maybe
What
you
one
want to
second.
pull up the list, but
What-
Storm is one from X-Men.
Okay.
Polaris. I mean, I don't think of these as really like
Yeah,
Shadow Cat.
yeah.
I doubt like there's a ton of isn't Captain Marvel a chick? I doubt these are really like the huge seller ones. I think dudes
Right.
kind of want to see dudes kick ass, you know?
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
superhero.
So there's a
Worlds.
Catwoman and a Batwoman, right? Was there?
Yeah, I
And then
guess.
Poison Ivy. I'm trying to just think of the ones we would have known growing up, and it's like Wonder Woman. You're probably right. Wonder Woman was probably the one. There's probably some we're missing, but anyway, he had this big list, and it was really misogynistic and really homophobic. Reaction to this blog was fast and furious. It was out there for like almost 2 years before it was picked up by the website themarysue.com. Unearthed it, and then they accused him of slut shaming and all the female characters, slut shaming all them, and then using really strong anti-gay language against many of the male characters. The director made no attempt to defend or excuse his behavior. Now he's been hired to do the first, Guardians of the Galaxy. He better come out strong, like, oh shit. And so he did, and he said, a couple years ago, I wrote a blog that was meant to be satirical and funny, and rereading it over the past day, I don't think it's funny. The attempted humor does not represent my actual feelings. However, I can see where the statements were poorly worded and offensive to many. I'm sorry. I regret making them. I'm learning all the time, and I promise to be more careful with my words in the future. I will do my best to be funnier as well.
Yeah, the crappy thing for him is the stuff, at least that I read, was not funny. Like, I know that's subjective, but
Right.
he had a bunch of pedophilia takes and stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
obviously he's joking, but it just wasn't hilarious.
Some of them were like, I burnt my tongue on an enchilada. Fucking Mexicans.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
and then there's a rape joke that made us chuckle the other day.
Oh, yeah.
But it'd be better. Sarah Silverman had a pedophile joke. I think that she got caught for that she had posted 10 years ago or something.
Right.
It was like, hey, what's the what's the age? What's the appropriate age to if a kid's hitting on you? I need to know like right now. Something along those lines.
hilarious.
Right. You can.
It's fucking funny. I'm sorry.
So you chuckle at that, but the problem with guns is it's like, dude, these aren't even like.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if they were actually objectively funny, but this shit's
Well-
kind of dumb, man.
I like it when little boys touch me in silly places. Shh.
Yeah, it's
Like that.
I guess it's sort of the Sarah Silverman take too, right there, right?
Not really.
it's happening.
Sarah's is funny.
It's happening.
Yeah, but I like it when little boys touch me in my silly place. Shh.
Yeah, it's
Like that just like out of nowhere landing in your Twitter. I don't care that he said it. I would highly doubt that an actual pedophile who likes little kids touching him in their silly place would post something like that. So it's obviously meant to be provocative and piss people off. That's the point, especially when you're coming up and you're not yet the director of, Guardians of the Galaxy. He's not going to make that post as Guardians of the Galaxy director. For the record, I'm against rape and baby eating in real life, unless you're really, really, really hungry. I want to go big game hunting, but no, it's morally questionable. So I'm going to split the difference and go big game raping. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not awful.
it's not.
It's not good though. That's the point, right? I mean, none of this like hits you like, ha, dude, guy was fucking hilarious,
Yeah, I know it's a little questionable and out of it's off color, but damn, that's funny.
Yeah.
Because the one you mentioned, that he had about what's the best part about being raped, wasn't that what that was? The setup
The
for
not
that
being
one?
raped, right?
When the raping's over, the fact that you're not being raped anymore, or something like that, was the joke. And it was he worded it differently than I just said it, but it was like, okay, I get what he's doing there.
Right.
It's chuckleable. Laughter is the best medicine. That's why I laugh at people with AIDS. See, it got 3 minor chuckles in the room.
I kinda like
Isn't
it.
that the point of
Yeah.
Twitter? You know.
Yeah.
I see what you've got pulled
Did
up
you
there.
see this?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't have it. I didn't do it ahead of time, so I don't have the whole thing. But it's so hypocritical of just in general, the people that are talking about it. I don't have to play it necessarily, but
What is this, Leslie Jones?
she was on The View, and she's just going on about. I happened to see this, and when you just started talking about this, it reminded me of this. But she's going on about how we cannot just be looking back at comics from 10 years, statements from 10 years ago. If you're a comic, I said stupid things 10 years ago, and you got Joe, Behart, right?
Joey Behar.
Joey Behar, and they're all sitting there, oh yeah, exactly, laughing at her, and it's like, isn't that what you're all doing on your show almost on a regular basis?
Yeah, they stand up for comedians, but they want to silence other people in other ways.
Like I said,
Leslie
that- you know what-
Jones is tough because Leslie, isn't she the one that got super offended because when Ghostbusters
Yes.
the reboot came out and people were calling her like a dude and
Yes.
saying it
Oh,
sucked.
weren't
and-
there corresponding really gross like XXX pictures of her too at the same time, right?
probably.
yeah,
Sort
like
of hand in
butthole
hand.
and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, made Hope Solo look
A lot of really
presentable.
unfortunate shit that came out at the same time. I
Mm-hmm.
think she was objecting to everything at that point.
And look, she's a big woman, big, strong black woman, and so immediately the gorilla shit is thrown out. Like they went over the top with her, with pictures of her and apes and shit. And so,
Losers on Twitter, you should say, right? You're talking about.
Yeah, no, not the people on The View. But yeah, people on social media do that to her. But her whining about that, I think it's, people only didn't like it because we're women and blah, blah. It's like, go fuck yourself. People didn't like it. Deal with it. It's okay. So
I
anyway.
would have watched it if I heard someone say it was good, by the way. I just didn't think
Yeah.
that it would be, but if someone told me, because I loved the Ghostbusters as a kid, if I'd really heard reviews like, dude, no, for real, it's actually pretty good, I would have, in fact, I definitely would have given it a shot. I just heard, everyone I heard said it.
It's got to be
sucked.
better than Ghostbusters 2. I watched Ghostbusters 2 not too long ago because the tiny girl, little sweet pie. My sweet pie wanted to see the follow-up to number 1, so we watched it. It might be the worst fucking movie made.
Really?
Dude, it's so
Has she
bad.
seen
It's
Godfather
so bad.
3, though?
It's so bad.
Has she seen Godfather 3?
No, she
Because
hasn't.
it's, I mean, I would reserve saying it's the worst movie ever. until you
It's
see
so
that.
bad, man.
Really? But doesn't Ghostbusters not hold up to?
It didn't. I sort of reviewed this about a month ago.
Yeah.
And it was really reliant on Bill Murray being that Bill
ham.
Murray kind of late '80s ham guy.
Yeah.
And if that's not funny to you anymore, it's like shit. Then
Yeah.
this is gonna fall flat.
Did
But,
she like it, though?
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have like a huge standard, like.
Yeah. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I guarantee she likes Stay Puft.
Yeah, she liked that.
But the Slimer? Did she like Slimer?
Yep.
Yeah.
She was generally
It's funny
unimpressed.
because
with
Slimer was a bad guy in the movie, but when they did the cartoon, Slimer was like their pet dog.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, in their
Yeah.
cartoon, Slimer was like a friend.
I know that Geico did the same thing with Geico Gecko. Was, he was all pissed off in those early commercials about the fact that people were confusing this. I'm a fucking gecko, not a Geico, you asshole.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And
At
then-
the
and then
beginning,
he
he was
flipped.
mad.
Changed his tune.
He
huh?
changed his
He was
tune,
selling for
came
Geico.
around, and now he's like their spokes
That's
gecko.
that is
Sold
true.
out, dude. He sold out. Bottom line.
Harpy. As soon as they offered him a few greenbacks, he was all on board.
That is true.
And so going back to James Gunn, Disney doesn't fire him. He has this well-written apology, hey, I've grown a lot, and blah, blah, blah. So Disney doesn't fire him. They accept him at his word, allow him to continue directing Guardians of the Galaxy, and then that movie goes on to be a massive success. $771 million globally. So they're like, well, here, take number 2. It does even better. $800+ million it makes globally. And then we learned that, he's not going to be directing this new one because Disney has put their foot down and fired him over some of these unearthed tweets. Well, it turns out those were all done years ago, before, they'd already accepted his apology. They knew he had this shit in his past. Disney didn't bother going and looking back to see what else was there.
So it's the same outrage just being dredged up.
Yeah, and now they've fired him from part 3, and it's like, wait a minute. He said he was sorry. He learned from this. He would never do it again. And since then, he's been a model, going forward, model citizen as far as that stuff goes. So people are like, what the fuck? Why now? And
Shows
so
you how much we've changed even in just a short 3 years, right?
yeah,
What could have been a quick apology and brushed under the rug and moved forward on 3, 4, or 5 years ago, can't do it anymore, I suppose.
yeah,
Plus, dude, the right came out really strong against him because he hit Ben Shapiro.
yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
kind of like
And that's the problem. That's the
It
part
was
I
a
hate
different
too.
conflict this time than prior. Prior, it was just kind of like dredged up. Like, really, Disney?
But
You're
don't-
hiring this guy?
But don't you think it would have been easy to go, well, yeah, I understand you're saying that, but these problems go back to this time period. We've already addressed it. And he's been a perfect citizen going forward. So we can't, we're not going to re-punish him for something we've already excused. Well, the reason this is coming back up, because we've talked about this subject before, is because the Guardians of the Galaxy themselves to a man
Open letter.
open letter to people.
Love open letters.
Yeah. And they've all autographed it. That's got to be a pretty valuable letter if you can get the original. It's got Chris Pratt's autograph and Bradley Cooper and Zoe Saldana or whatever. Sean Gunn, I'm assuming that's related to James. To our fans and friends, we fully support James Gunn. We are all shocked. We were all shocked by his abrupt firing last week and have intentionally waited these 10 days to respond in order to think, pray, listen, and discuss. In that time, we've been encouraged by the outpouring of support from fans and members of the media who wish to see James reinstated as director of Volume 3, as well as discouraged by those who so easily were duped into believing the many outlandish conspiracy theories. Being in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies has been a great honor in each of our lives. We cannot let this moment pass without expressing our love and support and gratitude for James. We are not here to defend his jokes of many years ago, but rather to share our experience having spent many years together on the set making these movies. The character he has shown in the wake of his firing is consistent with the man he was every day on set. His apology now and from years ago, when first addressing these remarks, we believe is from the heart. A heart we all know and trust and love. In casting each of us to help tell the story of these misfits who find redemption, he changed our lives forever. We believe the theme of redemption has never been more relevant than now. And so it goes on further than that. But so I don't know. We'll see. I guess Bob Iger has been on vacation for a while and was not the one that fired him. And so people are like, what's going to happen when Bob Iger comes back and is getting all this pressure from the entire cast and the fan outpouring? Does Disney make the right decision and bring him back, hire him back? Do you care either way?
Honestly, no. I don't.
Yeah.
I've never seen the movies. I don't know how talented this guy is, whether he's expendable.
They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know them, and I watched the first one, and it's good. It's got humor, and, it's a good story.
It's a political issue, so it's kind of like, what do you
Yeah.
expect,
Yeah. E, did you like those movies? Did you
I've
see
never
it?
seen. Dude, I just don't watch these movies. I hate
Yeah.
to say that. I mean, I know people.
You
fucking
should
love
watch them. You should watch 1 and 2 when I'm lazy.
I like Chris
you know.
Pratt. I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, he's the main guy in them, and they're good. They're good. I mean, I like the little fox guy or whatever he's
Raccoon.
The raccoon.
Fox, you liked him so much you thought he was a fox.
Yeah, I like the little raccoon guy voiced by
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper. He's funny, man. He's a funny guy.
Dude, I was watching some movie with Bradley Cooper the other day on Netflix. I thought it might be good because it was like this Chef Redemption movie, and I just thought about it like you couldn't. There's things that you.
Chef Redemption.
Well, it was like this. Yeah, he was like some crazy good chef. You get the impression that he was this crazy good chef. He was a drug alcoholic, ruined it. Went away for a few years.
Was
Now
his character a rat? Was this Ratatouille?
No, it wasn't. And my point is, though, I was watching this, and I was like, you know why I couldn't keep watching it? Because he's too good looking to like be a chef. Be in this role.
Do you want to bang
There's
Bradley
just
Cooper?
no. I just
He?
think it's weird that I think there's roles like when comedians I always think like I'm sorry if I see a super hot smoking chick or a guy or some dude that's like could be a model and he's up there like complaining about you're just like fuck you, you're too good looking. So when Bradley Cooper's in this role and he's just smoking hot,
It's not believable.
and I was just like, I just can't.
He
Just
keeps
leave and be a
calling
model.
Brad Cooper smoking
He
hot.
does, man.
I mean,
I think he's pretty good looking. He's a good looking guy.
Like, if you had to date a guy, is he the one you would pick?
Well, I've always said I've always famously said I have my celebrity crushes on Johnny Knoxville. That's who I always
Yeah.
wish.
So if you could bend John over a table, he's the one.
But I just
I thought you liked this whole time. I thought you liked what Johnny Knoxville was doing. I didn't.
I like
know that you
every
were sexually
well,
attracted to him.
I like everything about Johnny Knoxville.
Like, honestly, E, if Johnny Knoxville was like, look, man, I don't know what it is.
Bradley
but,
Cooper does have dreamy blue eyes.
Oh my God,
I will
it's like
tell
an
you
ocean,
that.
ocean blue.
Just
I
dive
love
in,
it, yeah.
dive in, gentlemen. Does he
Yeah.
have a young Robin Williams look to him?
Very much, dude.
Look at
very,
that.
very much.
I never noticed that before that image.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'll just look up Bradley.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I don't
was
think I
trying
want to bang a guy who.
This was him
looks
from this
like Robin
movie,
Williams.
I guess. It was called.
I think I
Burn.
might have.
Well, I like him
seen
bearded.
that.
I like him bearded.
You do? Let me see him bearded.
He looks way
Mr.
better.
Brad Cooper
Looks way-
bearded.
He looks beautiful.
So
Here he is in the movie I was watching, I guess, as the chef. I'm sorry. I felt like all I felt like the whole time was like, dude, this guy's too good looking to feel bad for him. I just didn't care. I
Oh
knew
my
that
God,
he
he's
could,
dreamy. You're right. Look at with the
he's a little
shorter.
dreamy.
Look at with the shorter beard and the short hair.
Yeah, he's handsome. And those blue eyes. I mean, I'm a
Dive in.
sucker for those
Dive
blue
in,
eyes.
gentlemen.
Oh, those baby blues. So Johnny Knoxville comes up and says, man, I've been listening to the Detroit Cast, and I got to be honest, I don't know what it is, but for the first time ever, I've got a little crush on you. Do you think you could date Johnny Knoxville?
No, not
Could?
really.
I mean, dude, next thing you know, you and Johnny are living together.
I think I could. I think there's times where I can see why I think people would find him attractive.
Huh? Bradley Cooper with his shirt off.
Wow. Look at that.
Let's see.
Don't get hard, dude.
Jeez.
Don't get hard. Yeah, that's not the body of a chef.
Actually, I can't wait. He actually has a new movie coming out too that I can't wait to see with Lady Gaga. It's this singing movie. I
the
forget.
guy.
But I don't know. It was just I was watching this movie, like I said, and I think there's roles in life that like you just can't be like studly good looks and have this like, oh, I feel bad for this dude. Like I think you have to have a little character flaws sometimes in roles where you're supposed to feel bad about them.
Oh yeah, he played American Sniper, didn't he? Forgot about
Yes. Yeah, he played Chris.
that. Sure, the sniper.
Yeah. I can't remember his name. Who was killed at the gun range.
Whoa,
by
whoa, whoa!
Oh,
Spoiler.
shit. Sorry about that. I think that's how the movie. Well, yeah. Sorry about
Look
that.
at him in that tux. I mean, does that scream Hollywood?
Dude, I know. I
Leading
know.
man.
Absolutely. And he's usually
Dreamy
with,
blue eyes.
He's usually acting with Jennifer, the other chick. I've seen her butthole.
Lawrence,
And I liked it.
That's who I was trying to think of earlier.
Yeah.
Plays the X-Men woman.
Who, now that, I know you guys are fawning over guys here, but Jennifer Lawrence to me, holy shit.
I can't look at her the same after seeing
Her
the-
butthole?
After seeing that whole release of, she just looks so trash. She
Yeah.
looked so goddamn ordinary.
Yeah,
You
she
know?
did, but
It
she
just shows you what Hollywood can do.
I know, but dude, you got to
Hair,
admit there
makeup,
was a
chef,
lot.
personal trainer.
Yeah, but she's got all that now, and now look at her. You're just like, God damn. Ugh,
What's her name again? Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. I've seen her butthole. I liked it.
Said
That's famously said by
Bone, Ken Bone,
Ken Bone.
Bone Job.
Yeah,
his
the bone
red
job.
cable knit sweater. God, that
What's
guy.
that?
That's the
Bone.
funniest thing. Like, he made a comment on a Reddit thread. I have seen her butthole, and I liked it.
People had to, like, take
he
him downtown.
He thought that was such a good line that it was like, I could keep this to myself.
But he
or
was just
I'm
some
so
dude.
glad he decided to share that
That's
with the
before
world.
he was
But
Ken Bone.
right, he
I know,
was just
I know.
some guy, dude. It'd just be like just some dude on a Reddit, just kind of like, yeah, you know, I liked her asshole, and now he gets up and asks this question at
the Hillary Trump debate.
Yeah. Can you imagine if, and it's probably a long shot, but if they hired Ken Bone to direct, to take over for James Gunn and direct the new Guardians of the Galaxy, how fast before I saw her butthole and I liked it was blasted all over the world. And then Bone Job is
There he
left
is.
apologizing. Well, some things I said early in my career about
Yeah, in my career. Look at the quarter zip cable knit sweater, man. It's just classic.
You remember what the best thing about this was?
Yeah, the neck man, the guy who needed the neck man next to him,
Sitting behind him.
would have been the guy of the hour, but Ken
Yeah.
Bone grabbed. There he is.
That guy looks like someone. There's like a multiple people down below his waist just fucking squeezing as hard as they can. It looks like that head is gonna pop.
Red and bulbous.
I mean, I've never seen.
I just remember us watching it,
that
and he
man-
was the one we were all talking about until Ken Bone stood up with his infamous question.
That man uses a CPAP. There's no question about it. He is not sleeping a wink without a CPAP device.
Look at his poor collar. I mean, it's popped up. What do they call this
That's
part of the
torture.
collar? This part here, the wings,
Yeah, sure.
the wing part,
collar.
collar part. Yeah, thank you. They're both popping up because it is so stressed.
Yeah.
like he cannot get. He needs a neck man. Bad.
I don't know that goddamn thing is buttoned. I think he's got the tie
Yeah.
hiding.
It just kinda-
the inability to button that.
I've done that. I like that move.
Really?
Yeah, because it's hard to get. It's hard to fucking get in there.
Where you let it go but still put your tie
Yeah,
way up.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And let that cover it.
By the way, I love that he shows up on all fat neck man Hillary debate. And then pictures of this dude are on,
Bing search.
are on the internet.
Are there more of them?
Poor guy.
Not just a kind of close-up version.
But you can see a skinny guy in there, right? At one point, I mean, if you eliminate the neck and you just focus in on the facial features, right?
I
You
think
can
he
see
was-
him in there
you-
as a
high schooler?
13-year-old, you know?
You think at 13? See,
was
I would
there.
imagine he was the not Augustus Gloop. What was his name?
Augustus Gloop.
Augustus Gloop of his. Boy, oh boy, that is a. I mean, Bone just looks like a normal.
Look at that cast of
everyday
characters.
citizen.
And it was the juxtaposition of Neckman to the
Versus-
skinny guy in front of
Right.
him, you know?
and behind him.
Look at that guy.
Wow. And you know, you feel bad because that is a massive suit and shirt, and that shirt is hanging on for dear life. I mean, it looks like it could explode at any
I
moment.
wonder if
but
that guy's still with us, honestly.
that's
couple
a
years
fair
later.
question. But you know, that guy probably gets dressed, and he's like, "Oh man, I can't believe I got invited to this debate. I should be really excited, but I know if I'm on TV." People are gonna say, "Look at the fat neck guy who's all red."
But he
That'd
is
be a
lucky.
Bing
Ken
search.
Bone, though, dude. I mean, like, yes, we were able to find images of him, but Ken Bone took that away from him.
Ken Bone is not an appealing-looking guy, right? Not that I am.
No.
I'm not saying I am. He's not appealing to look at, but he looks like half the man that Fat Neck guy is. Who we don't know. Maybe God rest his soul. But I wish we
Let's
could
be
get an
honest.
update. but-
Ken Bone could have been in anybody's audience, and the cream would have risen to the top. He cannot be denied.
Yeah.
Ken Bone would have come upon gross.
Yeah.
The knowledge of the American people.
Look, pull that picture over again.
shit, what's that
There's
look?
no way if you're scanning the audience, if you're not even a moderator, but if you're the guy whose job is to wear the headset, taking direction from the director and going, find someone with another question to ask. Like if he's got even a remotely decent question, it doesn't even have to be good. It's like find a way to get red shirt guy. I don't know what his name is, but the guy with the mustache, yeah, the really round face. Find a way to get a microphone in his hand.
If you remember his question,
Wait, his name's what? His name's Kenneth Bone. Yeah. Feed him a fucking question if you have to. We need Ken Bone on microphone asking a question now.
He represents the zeitgeist of the country.
look at
Ken
this
Bone.
image of him.
Look at this guy.
He's into it.
That's before we knew Ken Bone.
Right,
and look
right,
at
you're
you know
right.
you know what's funny about
At that
this?
point, he was just this thing in the background, like, oh my god, I can't wait to hear from that guy. Yeah, I'm
him
listening to
standing
Hillary
with
right now, but what about that guy?
His hands just, kind of chill around his.
Absolutely.
And you know what's fascinating about this image here? This is taken from the debate. Photographer at the debate. Everything is blurry in this picture except Ken Bone.
He focused in on Ken Bone.
Ken Bone was the focus of this image. He's just an audience member. You don't focus on audience members unless it's Ken Bone.
Do you think the photographer was taken by the monochromatic look of the tie and shirt under the cable knit sweater?
You're not saying he's wearing a tie.
He's wearing a white tie on a white shirt
Son of a
under a
bitch.
red cable knit sweater.
Is that doable? Can you wear white on white tie and white shirt? I mean, Bone did it,
Ken
but
did it.
I didn't know until this very moment that he was wearing a tie. You know, when I was at that
Look at those little sausage fingers.
I
That's
know.
what Ken Bone's been tweeting about recently.
I was at that hotel, that Mopop thing I was telling you about, right?
Yeah.
And there was another couple sitting next to Beth and I didn't know you could do this. She is head to toe white, wearing white.
Mm-hmm.
He, head to toe, including shoes, in white. Is that? I mean, could you and Gab pull that off? Like you both?
No.
Yeah, I didn't know
I've
that
heard
was
of
possible.
white parties. You know, like I
This
think
wasn't one.
P. Diddy was famous for that, right?
Sure, sure.
At the Hamptons, he'd do that shit. But no, I've never been invited to one, nor have I accumulated the wardrobe to pull that off.
So this is a guy who's wearing his white shirt and everything. He's ripped. He's 6'6", shredded. She's probably 6'2", shredded. And so at one point I'm like, I got to take a whiz. And so I go to the bathroom. He is in line in front of me, and he gets a urinal. There's another guy at the urinal with him, right? The two of them. There's only 2 urinals. And so I'm waiting now for an open urinal. Someone is taking a hellacious shit in one of the other
If you're wearing
things.
all white like that, do you have to sit down to piss? Because I mean, dude, what if it's all white?
Well,
everyone's
I'll tell you
got a
the-
little splitter, a little like splatter a little
splashback.
bit, like.
Well, what he did was washed his hands before he got in line for the urinal. Washed his hands and then went there. And
Interesting move.
the guy to his right, who's probably
Doesn't want to
6'4",
get his dick dirty. Interesting.
So we've got 6'6" and 6'4". They're standing there. Both of them probably got huge dicks, and they're standing there at the urinal taking whizzes. And the guy can't let it go. Finally, he goes, "Hey man, I noticed you washed your hands before you sauntered over here to take this whiz." He goes, "Oh yeah, man, I don't ever touch my dick without washing my hands first." He said, "Think about all the points of contact you go through." And I'm standing like 3 feet behind him listening to this conversation. Think about all the points of contact you're touching door handles, you're touching silverware and plates. Never do I touch my dick without washing my hands
Awesome.
first. And I'm laughing. I'm not shitting you. These guys continued to have this conversation for 8 minutes, just standing there as the line is growing. They're long done pissing. They're both just standing there, dicks in hands, having a full conversation and shit. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Meanwhile, massive shit-taking guy is still just, he's like, I'm not coming out of here until the commotion out there is gone. Like, it's too embarrassing. Everyone knows that it's me that's exploded this room. And so we're stuck in this odd spot where it's like, I don't know what to do. I can't take it. I think the guy's 6'6". I'm not going to be like, hey, dick face, let's get a move on. Put it away. You ever heard of something so outrageous?
Aside from that, it's aside from the delay that these two gentlemen have
I'm
caused.
just doing this like a little kid that's got a whiz, you know.
What do you think about his overall point?
It was hard to argue with, but I mean, you don't do that, do you? You're
I've
a very
never
clean
thought
individual.
about it.
Yeah, you've been touching your dick.
Maybe
with
it's
filthy
a goddamn
fucking
great
hands.
point.
You've been
The points of contact.
Why are you cleaning it after you're done with the dick? Is that what the question is? Why is he not cleaning it
No,
before?
it should be done before and
that's
after.
my point. I know,
he's
but
double washing for sure, thoroughly.
I think that's a damn good point by this guy.
It was just like so matter of fact. Oh man, I ain't never touch my dick until
Why am
I
I getting
wash
my
hands.
dick dirty?
You're getting it filthy.
Why am I getting my dick
Think
dirty?
about all the gross points of contact when you're touching your mic, and McCarty's used it, E's used it.
God, you're right.
And it's like,
the door handles, the chairs, everything. Yeah, why am I getting my dick dirty?
you are. It's a fucking petri dish down there.
look at Ken Bone's Twitter. For one, this is his image.
Anybody in
steps
New
of the
York
Capitol.
City want to drive me to St. Louis? Yes. If I was in
Dude,
New York
I
City right
know.
now, 3 flights canceled in 2 days, trying to get home, no flight available till Sunday. If I was there, how cool would that road trip be?
I would have done it in a second. But
Yeah.
there he is.
Wearing the sweater. Still wearing the sweater. He's staring up at the Capitol. Okay, so what do we got? Thanks to Kyle for having me out to speak, even though he knows I don't always agree. Well, great organization.
Is that his mom, him and his mom in the hero image?
This?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's got to be his wife, right?
190,000 followers still, so he's held on. I don't remember what he was. I'm sure he's gone down a little
He was
bit.
at
some-
4, I believe.
Well, no,
he was
but
at
I-
4 before his.
Oh, no, I know. But, I mean, he exploded for a little bit. My
Yeah.
point is I assume it's gone down a little. But still, 190,000 is pretty damn good.
And he's only following 393. I wonder who he's following. Does anyone care who Ken Bone is following?
Yeah,
Oh,
what,
I got to sign up.
was he an ultra conservative dude or was he?
Yeah, I think
He was on the
so.
fence. No. Don't.
Oh, that's
don't
right. The
paint Ken
whole
Bone.
audience is they're undecided.
He
That's
was the
whole-
guy that I believe we were mad at, or you were mad at, because it was like, who the fuck hasn't decided by now who they're voting for? We're what, 2 weeks away from the election? You haven't figured out who you're voting for yet?
His question, if you remember, was about, like, energy conserving or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
I can't...
I'll be
Yeah,
goddamn.
it was on a subject that it was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You got Trump and Hillary standing there. You're going to ask them about a goddamn energy policy?
Yeah.
Come on, let's get the
Yeah.
friction going.
Yeah, he
ask
was a
them
policy
something
wonk
exciting.
for sure.
Yeah, that's a wonk for sure.
Oh, bone job. I'd love to talk to him at some point. I know it's been a while, but as we get into the midterms and 2020, maybe it'd be nice to catch Ken Bone, see if the president has done what he wanted with his energy stuff. See if we've made any headway. Are you guys excited at all about the XFL? I know you're not a football
When's it coming?
guy. 2020 is when they're supposed to start that season. I imagine they'll do it like the USFL has done, and they'll have it offset with the NFL. So it's like, oh, we're getting it in the spring or whatever instead
Yeah.
of the fall.
Not really.
Well, they just announced that one of their guys is going to be Jim Caldwell. Ex-Lions coach is going to be a consultant for the XFL. They've also got Doug Flutie as one of their consultants and former Bears coach John Fox. And so people are kind of scratching their heads at this, like, okay, the XFL was this weird, outrageous Vince
hate me.
McMahon league. Like, you can't get more of a stuffed shirt, non-controversial guy than Jim Caldwell. Like, how does he fit in with the XFL? And so people are reading into this a bit, going, maybe they're trying to make an actual football league. And a lot of people believe, fuck your morals. Let's let these guys just hammer the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And try to take away from the NFL while the NFL tries to deal with the fallout from all the CTE and head injuries that the XFL is just going to be like balls out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I don't know, man. That's kind of interesting.
You know the thing about that, though, for me, for one, I know this is what I've always said to Jay about soccer, for example. For one, if there's not a team in Detroit, I definitely won't care because I need to cheer for the team that's I have. Most of my sports, I just like the idea of having this local team, and there's you go to the stadium and everyone high fives. And the other thing
The
is
tribal aspect of it
well,
is
yeah,
all that keeps
basically.
you
Yeah.
But the other thing is, like, honestly, it's not that I wouldn't want to see hard hitting and stuff, but if it doesn't have, like, the NFL has the history. I know the Super Bowl. You know it's big. I know how the idea of just some league, it would have to take a while before I would really be able to get emotionally invested into a league that is just kind of there now.
Do you think Isis would have liked the USFL, Mike?
When they were here, if they were the
The
Panthers,
Michigan Panthers.
probably.
Who was in that league? Was that Jim Kelly for a while? Steve Young?
Sure, Jim Kelly was with the Houston Gamblers. Steve
Herschel?
Young with the LA Express.
Yep. Got that
Herschel was with
famous-
the Generals, yeah.
I probably
Yeah.
would have. I probably would have because
Or
there
the
was a team
Stars.
here.
Was he on the Philadelphia Stars or the New Jersey Generals? One
Who?
of the two.
Herschel? Boy, no, neither of those. I was leaning towards the Generals, but
Who?
Herschel Walker.
Yeah,
I mean,
they had legit stars coming out of college going to that league.
Yeah.
Like there were some really good players.
and out of the draft. I mean, they were. I mean, they stole Steve Young from
The
Tampa
Generals,
Bay.
New Jersey Generals.
It was the Generals.
83 to 85.
And that must be when the league expired. But they were paying real dollars, big money and
I
pulling
probably
these
would
guys
have. I mean,
away.
I've gotten into minor things. I remember when I was a kid watching the Neon, and I've gone to the DCFC games a few
He would
times.
have been
and stuff,
wearing
so.
a Bobby Abear jersey. I think he
Yeah.
would have.
Or an Anthony Carter jersey.
Yeah.
Wasn't Anthony on that team? But these hits that if they're talking about letting the real hits go, like I realized watching a cat video yesterday that I can fucking get amped for a fucking good solid stick, no matter
Oh, yeah, I
who's
saw
delivering it, dude. This cat video
Wraps them up, man.
posted by
It's
Kyle
textbook. It's
Agius
absolutely textbook.
is just like you could use this in training camp to show guys the proper way to make a lick. No pun intended. Look at this stack of kittens coming in. I got this.
Goes up high.
Boom.
I mean, wow. Down low, too. No helmet to helmet.
Tailor-made, though.
I mean, dude, that is just the way he gets the kitten's ears are back. Like, what the heck just
And the
happened?
kitten puts it on a platter for him, though.
But
Yeah.
still, no helmet to helmet. I mean, he's just.
No, his natural response was not to lead with the crown of his head. He knew to come in sideways and just plant this motherfucker. Plant this poops.
Look at those
I
poops.
got you, Mom. Oh, do you? Look at that, just boom.
Oh, that head hits the ground.
Does
Damn.
the head hit? Is it? We gonna be looking at CTE possibly?
Yeah, concussion. I think so, right? Maybe not. Maybe the paws
Those
hit first.
flopsy ears hit. Yeah. Oh man, I'm getting out of here. That guy hit me hard. Oh, that's just textbook. Absolute textbook shot. And then we got Jay. You sent this over. I have not seen this full video yet. The dog that steals the GoPro. Is it pretty good?
I mean, yeah, Let it run for a second, Isis. I'm
There's
not
a
sure.
pit bull named Bonnie.
Not sure exactly what the GoPro is on, whether it's on a hat or what. But this poops
Oh, yeah.
takes it, and you get a poop's eye view. Here it goes.
Yeah, mine.
It's off.
Mine. Get it away.
Poops.
Poops, what are you doing? Poops,
Look at
where are
its
you
ears.
going?
Just
He's
booking
in a
around the house
full
in the
sprint.
yard.
No, get away from me. No, it's mine. Get out of here. The other dogs want it. He's like, no, mine.
Oh, it makes me dizzy, man.
Does it?
How am I going to make it through an Armin van Buren
I don't know.
show
That's
when I
gonna be rough.
can't even watch a poops run around with a GoPro?
And I get dizzy. I kind of get seasick.
Shit.
Look at him trying to catch him. No, mine. Dogs just want what they can't have.
It's just funny because the face is just so still because that thing is just clenched in its
Right.
mouth.
Yeah.
And there he goes.
Isn't it? It's so funny. Like nobody cared about that frisbee holding the GoPro until Bonnie took off with it, and then the other dogs are like, "Wait, no, I want it now."
Is that what it is, a frisbee?
Yeah, I think so. It looks like a frisbee of some sorts. Who knows?
How are you going to throw a frisbee with a GoPro on it?
I don't know. But I noticed that when I would play with Izzy, like she's got a bunch of balls in the backyard, these like hard rubber ones, and there's a couple that are glow in the dark, so they're just kind of that